I will there be light, and there is no will but God's. It's a wonderful matchup right here. Again, I will there be light, and there is no will but God's. It's like, then who's willing there be light? It's a pretty amazing thing to really get into it, and I know that we were getting pretty in depth in the actual lessons of these as well, but in the sense of, regardless of how you think of there as what it is referred to as light, if it's an understanding, or if it's energy, or if it's love, or it's beautiful things, or things noble and worthy and all this stuff, then yes, go for these things and seek these things, absolutely. But in the sense of thinking of it as understanding, or even just fullness of energy, I will there be light is choosing that understanding. You're choosing that wholeness. You're choosing that energy. You're choosing that love. You're choosing it. That's the big thing about it. You're choosing it. And what is choosing through you? Like, it's so easy to get caught up in A Course in Miracles, projecting your ideas of guilt and shame and fear onto it, that you think God's, something else. And that you're screwing it up. You're in this illusionary world. You're just doing problems after problems. You're just really a mistaken, crazy person. You're probably really some monkey in a rubber room. And you're just thinking... Anyway. It's like... God is quite literally experiencing the world through you. The Son of God is the experiencer, the perceiver of this reality and all realities. That the totality of what God is cannot experience anything because it's so full and complete. It is everything. So in that same way, the idea in which a son can be not whole, not complete, so that it can experience it. It can experience moving around in it. Just like a room doesn't really experience itself, it is itself. But they say if there's something in the room, a ball, I was thinking racquetball for some reason, a racquetball bouncing around in the room, it experiences the room. But if that ball became the room, it would not experience it. Simply have things within it experiencing it. So this and what you are and what the Son of God is the totality of what is the experience of the totality. I said that backwards. You are the experiencer of it. So I will there be light is, and even I will there be separation, came from the will of God. There is no other will than God's. But it's so easy to misunderstand. Like, well, God didn't create a world like this, or God didn't choose that. God didn't, God's not a part of this. And you're misunderstanding again. It's like, with this world, and God did not create disaster. God did not create, even the Course, even lessons as we went through already, right? We think we're talking about a world. We think we're talking about disaster. It's like, even if this wholeness of the totality of what God is what it's really referring to, God, it can't really be present in a sense of choosing, say, where the ball bounces around in that room. The ball is making that decision. You, okay, for the metaphor of bouncing around the room. The room itself has no say in the matter because it is the room itself. Right? It's not the ball. But if it all is, even in and throughout, and everyone and everything is within it, is it, there can't be any decisions made that are not of it. So there's two different references about what, say, God is. And that is the totality of what God is. And so God never created a world of separation, because God is the totality of all of it. It can't be separate. It can't make separate experiences, or else it wouldn't be it. Even if it stepped down and said, I'm going to be an experience of separation, it would be you. And then another, say, God would take its place. There would still always be that position. It's like that, a throne. It's not a throne. It's not a throne. Holy crap. But just like a throne, the idea, metaphorically speaking, is that someone will be sitting in it all the time. It's okay? Even if God got down and experienced the world, there would be another God in the throne. Okay? It's not a separate identity. It's not a God as a body. It's not a throne. Make that clear. Metaphorically speaking, that it's the position. Okay? So you are one with God, but you're not in the position of the perspective of the totality of all that is. Okay? You are one with God in the perspective of the separation of everything. You're in this little perspective of separation. Okay? So you're on a different throne, a different chair, in which you're experiencing the same reality, in which is the throne, but a different perspective of it. It's the exact same thing. You're in the exact same place as the big throne and the little throne, all in the exact same place. They're in fact the same throne. You didn't think you're being confused enough. But it's different perspectives. It's just like looking from a different way. Experiencing the room as in bouncing around in it, and experiencing the room as in being the walls in which the room is. Hopefully a little bit in there. A little bit. Oh, man. So, you want to understand, you will there be light, you will there to be understanding, you will there be truth, you will for the recognition of reality, you will for the enlightenment, the revelation, the salvation, you're willing for this. And what is willingness through you is what you are one with. Remember what, can you have two that is one? No, you can't have two that is one. You can't have 7 billion that is one. No, you can't have, I mean, you can have 5 that is one hand, right? But you can't have a whole bunch that is one. You can only have one that is one. So you can't say, I mean, you can say anything. I am one with God literally is referencing to saying I am God. Because there, of course, one is one. One is one, right? One is not many. Unless you're looking from a different perspective. That's where dimensions come in, and that's why, I mean, I don't want to get too much into dimensions about it, but you can see that the perspective of the throne is that 0th or 10th dimension, and where we are looking from is a 3rd or 4th dimension. Okay, so it's a different perspective of the same one thing. A dimension is looking at the same one dot of existence in a different manner. Like a first dimension is a line between 2 points. God the Father and the Son.